Welcome, everybody, once again to another Mega64 movie club. I'm going to start this. I've been kind of planning this intro. I've been working out all week.
Oh, yeah. Let me see.
Me too.
What do you got? What do you got? Yeah.
Oh, you're making noise. We can't see Rocco. There we go.
I can't figure out. I don't know how my pants are clasped.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Movie Club. This week we are watching the 2012 horny AF classic, Magic Mike.
I thought you. I thought you were gonna say you were the 2012. You were like starting. I thought you were gonna say horror classic, and I was like,
Horny AF classic.
horny classic is what we meant. Yeah.
Everybody I told that we were watching Magic Mike just had the same response. That movie is very horny.
Oh.
I had never seen it, so I didn't know what to expect. What did you guys have? Have you?
Oh.
So yeah, we watched Magic Mike this week. We're going to be talking about Magic Mike. Had you guys seen Magic Mike? Did you know anything about this movie before we went into it? I went in completely cold.
Same.
All I knew is Channing Tatum and stripper. That's all I knew.
I knew Channing Tatum. I knew the dude from True Blood who was a werewolf was in it. Hey, let me tell you why that dude's hot. First of all,
okay.
Well, we'll get into it. Do we need to get into it right now?
Sure. But I went in cold other than those two things. Yes, I went.
I went in. The only thing I knew about Magic Mike. Oh, God. Sorry.
Here we go again.
It wouldn't be a stream. We have to. It's a tradition.
Here comes the buzz. There's the buzz.
There it is.
And we're muted. My mom saw Magic Mike Double XL one day. And I didn't know if she even saw the first one, but she went to the movie theaters to see Double XL, and her review was lots of gyrating. So that's all I knew about the Magic Mike franchise.
Yeah.
Channing Tatum, he's a stripper, lots of gyrating. I always kind of viewed this movie as like maybe 50 Shades of Grey, like a sexy, guilty pleasure for lonely older women.
Yeah.
Right? Not my kind of film. So I always avoided this movie.
Yeah,
I didn't know what to expect. What's that?
I had no desire to see this ever. It wasn't made for me, which is fine.
But the one thing that I was the kind of when you mentioned watching this movie, I was super down for it for a lot of reasons. But it's a Steven Soderbergh movie. That guy knows what he's doing. Like, that guy's a good director, I think.
I literally
didn't even
know that until the movie ended. And
Me
the
too.
credits put his name up.
Me too.
I knew nothing about this movie. I went in cold.
So
all that being said,
Yeah.
I loved Magic Mike. It was way better than I could have ever expected.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys felt about it.
You guys kind of, Derek said to me after last week's episode that we taped, as soon as I stopped recording, Derek said, you're going to get a reputation for hating all these movies. And I have to say, unfortunately, fuck that. I loved this movie. I really liked it a lot. I thought it was excellent. And I will give it my award, number 1 on my list for yellowest movie of all time.
Never seen more piss yellow film in my life.
I have a theory about that, but we'll talk about it. All right, so let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado, we're going to deep dive on the stripper classic, Magic Mike.
Wait, did Sean say if he liked it or not?
No, I did not. I liked it, but I'm on the more it was just okay side.
Oh,
of it.
really?
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Well, we'll talk about that.
Okay, yeah. Anyway.
So we have the plot here. We're going to go through it. If you've never seen this movie, that's okay. We're going to tell you everything that happens. We are going to spoil it for you. So if you care, turn this off right now. Go watch the movie. Come back when you're done.
Magic Mike spoilers.
Magic Mike is the movie about Channing Tatum and his time in a strip club, but it actually opens with a shot of Matthew McConaughey in the strip club, kind of like warming up the ladies for ladies' night. And right away, I knew that I was going to like this movie just based off Matthew McConaughey's opening performance.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was in it.
Me neither.
Yeah.
And when he started talking, Matthew McConaughey is so fucking likable to me.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
You just have fun watching him do whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
Even like if it was something dark like True Detective, it's a dark fucking thing, but he's fun to watch.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say I was bummed about is he never once says the word "all right." Total bummer.
He completely recreates his character from Dazed and Confused. He uses that all right more in this movie than he does in the original.
That's what I was going to ask, because I've never seen Dazed and Confused. I thought that him going, all right. I thought it was from that, but then I watched this, and I'm like, wait, which movie was that from? Because he
totally brought it back. I mean, it's honestly, if you've seen Dazed and Confused and you're a fan of Matthew McConaughey and you watch Magic Mike, it's not too far of a stretch mentally to say, this is where the kid from Dazed and Confused ended up later in life.
100% right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
Same, cinematic universe. We're in the McConaughey verse here.
The Magic Mike, the MMCU.
That's
right.
That's right.
There's a line in that opening scene where Matthew McConaughey is teasing a room full of women. He's basically wearing like assless chaps and like some weird leather strap or, some stripper shit. And he's teasing them like, I know y'all want to touch it, but it's against the law for you to touch it. But you know what? I don't see any cops here tonight. And they all scream, and that was when I was like, I think I might really enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
So Matthew McConaughey runs this strip club, but the movie's really about Channing Tatum, who plays a character named Mike. Mike not only is a stripper, but he also works at a construction company. He also refurnishes furniture. Channing Tatum's character is like an entrepreneur. He has a bunch of side hustles. He seems like a pretty cool guy. Seems like a fun guy. And he meets this 19-year-old dude, Adam, at a construction site. And they just kind of like become buddies, become friends. Mm-hmm. There's a scene early on in the movie. So the first 22 minutes is just Channing Tatum and this kid hanging out. There's like no strip club in it really after that first scene. There's a great scene where they go to a nightclub, which gave me flashbacks of going to a nightclub with you guys. Mm-hmm. When specifically they talk about how Adam is not dressed appropriatly to get into the club, and he has fucked up shoes on. It's like, oh, that's like trying to get into any club during PAX when you've been at this nerdy convention all day, and they're like, oh, Fragdoll's party at Club Onyx, and then you go there, and the bouncer's like, no way are we letting you in.
Yeah.
So I could feel that. The first act is really like Channing Tatum and Adam just hanging out, being buds, going to nightclubs, picking up chicks. I actually thought there was it was 50% gross, 50% awesome, just a scene of them picking up these two girls in a nightclub. Mm-hmm. A lot of the movie felt like it was almost improv, or at least that scene felt like improvisational.
I agree with you, Derek, and I have a note of that too, of saying like a lot of the dialogue here seemed like they had like what we do, an outline, and they kind of just winged it because it was so natural that I don't believe it was actually that. I think it was made up.
I personally, I will just say to that, I'm a fan of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And even like, not to go on about other movies, but that was why I liked The Godfather so much when I originally saw it. Obviously that's a very scripted movie. It has an excellent script, but when when you're at the wedding scene and stuff like that, it feels like I'm really just sitting there watching the wedding. It's very natural. It's very, like I'm in the moment with them. What's that?
They actually, in The Godfather, it's like they actually had a wedding. And
exactly. It feels 100% like you're there. It's,
it's not. This movie, I wasn't expecting how low budget it would be, but that's not an insult. I actually think that lends so much to its charm, and I really enjoyed that.
I did not realize that the movie, the budget was like $7 million. Yeah. And the money came from Channing Tatum and Soderbergh. Those two together funded it just themselves, no one else.
Yeah. So I guess we can pause here and say Channing Tatum made this movie himself. In fact, he picked the director.
Oh, I did not know that.
This movie is based on Channing Tatum's life before he was an actor. He was an 18-year-old stripper in Tampa, Florida. So he was kind of the Adam character, the young character.
Wow.
In real life, and then he writes this movie about his experiences. He says that it's kind of the atmosphere and the tone, but all the actual events are made up. He funded this movie himself. He originally wanted the director of Drive.
Nicholas Refn or whatever?
Yeah, Nicholas Refn to make this movie.
I don't know if he could have. I mean, I'm not against Nicholas Refn, but I feel like it wouldn't have been. It would have been a lot real stylized and weird. I don't think it would.
I guess, according to what I read, Channing Tatum had just seen Bronson and wanted it to be more like Bronson than Drive.
Okay.
And I can see these dance routines, these stripper routines being highly stylized with cool lighting, and
that's true.
I could see Nicholas Refn version of this movie that would actually be really good.
Okay, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, but I will say though, not to spoil anything, but this movie ended up making almost 160 million worldwide. So Channing Tatum made so much fucking money by doing this movie.
Yeah,
he did, and the sequel. He has all the rights to this.
Damn.
Wow.
All right. So long story short, he becomes best friends with this kid, and then he's like, "Come hang out, come to where I work," and he takes him to the nightclub, to the strip club, and he introduces him to all these male strippers with great names. He meets the character Tarzan. He meets the character Big Dick Richie, who Rocco previously mentioned was the guy from True Blood, Joe. How do you say his last name?
Joe Manganiello.
Joe Manganiello, I believe it is.
Yeah. Is it okay to give some background on him real quick? Do you think?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Go for it.
I was just gonna say that dude is a hot dude, and I'll tell you why. One, look at him. First of all, looks like Prometheus. Second, that dude is this is what makes some, you got to respect the body and the mind. That guy is I don't know if you know this, the biggest Dungeons and Dragons nerd you've ever met in your life.
He has a YouTube series.
Yeah, he has a YouTube series. He was trying to get a movie going for a long time. Like, hey, we need to do a legit, they did a Dungeons and Dragons shit movie in the early 2000s. It was terrible. And he's been trying to get it, hey, this is good and big enough that we could do a legit good movie that does it justice. And he was trying to get that going and whatever. He's a cool guy. I just wanted to say, I've always really liked that guy.
He wrote a book called Evolution.
And he's married to, who he's married to?
No.
What's her name? Modern Family. With the accent. She's got the accent.
I forget her name. I don't know her name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Why can't I think of her name? But I mean, gorgeous. Whatever. He's married to her.
Sofia Vergara?
Yeah.
Is that what Derek said?
Yeah. Yes. He's married to her.
Oh.
So didn't know he settled.
Who's the lucky one in that relationship? It's a flip a coin.
He wrote a book called Evolution, all about how to attain the same body that he has. So if you want to read it, you could look just like him.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
The Amazon reviews say that it's a near impossible workout regimen, including 2 daily, highly intense workouts, 6 days a week.
Oh, good.
I'll get right on that.
Not to mention monitoring your diet. All right. So anyways, Magic Mike, all these sexy dudes here. There's not much of a plot to this movie, honestly, but I kind of love it for that reason. It's more of just a slice of life, just what's it like in this stripper world.
Mm-hmm.
I'll run down the rest of the movie, and then we can just talk about our favorite parts of it.
Sure.
Right? Magic Mike encourages this young guy to go out on stage. Classic movie scenario. Oh, the guy who was supposed to do it isn't available. Kid, you go out. And he has no idea what he's doing, but somehow he gets the girls to go wild. So we're going to give him a shot, bring him to training. Matthew McConaughey has this awesome scene where he teaches this guy how to strip, which is probably one of the best monologues in any Matthew McConaughey movie of all time.
And best Matthew McConaughey scene of all time. That he was so good in that, when he was gyrating behind him, showing him what to do. Oh, it was so good.
Hey, any high school acting students out there, you need a good monologue for your class? Pick up this Matthew McConaughey monologue where he teaches Adam how to be a male stripper. It's amazing.
That is really good. I do want to say, though, this is a recurring theme for Matthew McConaughey, having, even when the movie's not about him, having a show-stealing monologue, because I would say runner-up to that one is still his Wolf of Wall Street scene. He's only in one part.
Oh, yeah.
He's only in one part, and he's just talking about, what he does and stuff. That's another great monologue. So he knows how to get in there and do it.
He's great. For a large portion of this movie, I'm watching it thinking what's the problem here? These guys are good at stripping. They make a lot of money. The chicks want to fuck them. They're having a great time. Magic Mike gets a crush on Adam's sister. Nothing is really skeezy about that. It's like a sweet relationship.
Yeah.
Then Adam starts to get a little bit of attitude, too big for his britches. He goes in half and half on a drug deal with a DJ from the strip club. Him and Adam and Magic Mike go to a college party where he gives a girl there some drugs. A big fight breaks out. They have to flee the scene, practically naked, fighting off frat dudes. Also a pretty fun scene. He loses all his drugs there, and then he gets in trouble with the drug cartel a little bit, but Channing Tatum, Mike bails him out. Towards the end, Matthew McConaughey and the whole strip club, they want to move to Miami where they can make a bigger venture. And Mike has to realize, do I want to be a stripper for my whole life? I was going to start these businesses that I've been dreaming about, refurnishing furniture. I've been saving up all this money to do it, but I just spent all that money to bail my friend out with these drug dealers. The movie ends with him quitting stripping after an argument with this girl he likes. She's like, "You'll always be a stripper." And he's like, "No, I won't." And he goes and he has a nice, heartfelt conversation with her. At the end of the movie, they kiss and they kind of end up together. Mm-hmm. You never really know what happens to Adam, how it all works out with all the rest of the strippers, but
yeah.
XXL.
We get the impression Mike has learned he's all he's ever going to learn from the stripping lifestyle, and he's ready for the next big thing in life.
Yeah.
I like this movie. I thought it was like a slice of life. It wasn't so much about what was happening in the story. It's about the characters and the world. And, we talked about Stranger Than Fiction last week, as a dramedy, but was it really? Who was this made for? Right. I feel like this is the perfect example of a dramedy. This is a dramatic movie where nothing really bad happens. And you kind of just get a kick out of it. And you're just chuckling the whole time. So this is my kind of dramedy, I think.
I was ready for Boogie Nights level dark, and we didn't get that, which I was honestly relieved that it didn't get that.
Yeah. No, it was, it's what you say. It's more of a slice of life kind of thing rather than a threatening plot, whatever. And so I appreciated that. I've definitely grown to appreciate, and I think you guys might agree, or at least Sean, I think we've talked about that, but I feel like recently I've been appreciating the art of the really well done hangout movie. You know what I mean? Where it's I'm just going to be with these people for a while. And maybe the plot isn't thick, but it's a slice of what they're doing, and I'm with them,
Which is honestly Dazed and Confused. I think we should watch that at some point, because that is that.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that movie.
Describing is you don't necessarily need a plot, you just need interesting characters.
Yeah.
You'll watch characters just be characters.
Yeah.
You don't care what they're doing, you just like watching them. And I think all great movies need interesting characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this movie has it now. I talked earlier about Piss Yellow.
Yeah.
I definitely thought that too. Literally that. I was like, why is this movie color corrected to look like somebody pissed on it?
Hey, Eric, I told Rocco this earlier. I literally paused my TV and turned it up because I thought my TV was fucked up. I'm like, oh shit, my TV's older. Maybe it's just not doing this right.
I have a theory, and I don't know, maybe this is just the filmmaker in me reading into it. I think it gives the whole movie a grimy feel. This whole world is a little dirty, a little sleazy, right? Yeah. They're strippers. They live in the world of exploiting their bodies. So to tint this thing yellow, and in all of our minds, it evoked bodily fluids that were a little bit gross.
Yeah.
But nothing some people like to get pissed on. Honestly, I think it was honestly just to kind of set the tone of there's something off about this. It's a little gross.
It's a little,
but it's not too much for me to run away.
Which
I think is kind of the whole atmosphere that they're going for this movie.
Yeah, it's a little dirty in good and bad ways.
I did look it up why it was so fucking yellow, because that was a mark against it for me. I get tinting your movie, like The Matrix tints the movie, whatever. This was so much. It's yo, bring it back 50% because this is crazy.
I liked the look of it. I didn't have an issue. I thought it was odd, but I liked it.
Hated it. They said that they chose to push it really far into yellow to show off the exotic and authentic Florida sights and to contrast with the colorful neon lit strip clubs.
I was also going to say it only appeared to be yellow when they were outside. The strip clubs were like very colorful.
That was fine.
But that felt like, I don't know. To me, it's always, I look at color stuff. I mean, you can push it too far. That's for sure. I agree with Sean. But it always is there to evoke mood. Color evokes mood. And so to me, you mentioned The Matrix. You got me set on The Matrix now. Good luck to you. No, but why I always like the color correction in that is like, when they're in the real world, it's very blue, it's cold, it's unfeeling. When you're in The Matrix, it's green, it's artificial, it's programming, whatever. Well, I liked it in this movie because it felt like kind of I don't know if oppressive is the right word, but the Florida sun, Well, it's like in the movie Do the Right Thing, it's supposed to be the hottest day of New York. That movie's orange as fuck. I feel hot watching that movie, And I don't know. I think having that kind of that dingy, that Florida sun just kind of always making you sweat, and it's just kind of like, I need a fucking shower, I don't know. I thought the vibe worked. I liked it.
I agree with what you're saying, Rocco.
You can go far. You can go far.
And I'm saying is you should be able to do that, and I don't really think about it. I just feel bad.
I hear you.
All I could do is think about like, this looks bad.
I hear you. I hear you, because it's not, you can do it subtly, and I don't know if that was the case here, but
no, it was not. But anyways.
So Gabriel Iglesias has a role in this movie. You may know him as the comedian Fluffy, which actually made me enjoy Fluffy a little bit more. I'll be honest with you. This may be the only thing Gabriel Iglesias has done that I enjoy him in.
I think I'm the only one in here right now who has seen him live. Because before he was big, he was always big, but before he was a huge comedian, before he was successful, he opened for Weird Al.
Oh.
And I saw him in like 98, 99, something like that.
Well, in fact, Channing Tatum wrote the part for him.
Oh, no kidding. I didn't know that.
And personally asked him to be in it. And another fun fact, we are talking about Matthew McConaughey. Matthew McConaughey accepted this role over the phone after a 10-minute pitch from Steven Soderbergh. And he says it's only the second time in his life that he's accepted a role over the phone. He just thought he'd have so much fun. And let me say, he does one strip scene at the end of the movie, and I just thought, like, every woman in that room is going to be a lifelong Matthew McConaughey fan. That must have been a dream come true. There's a shot in the movie where his thong is ripped and he's clutching it to his crotch, and he kind of like somersaults away from the women.
Yeah.
And I was reading that was real. They actually tore his G-string off. and he had to like get away from them. He's holding his balls so they don't fall out. In fact, I read that if you look closely, there's a lot of wardrobe malfunctions in this movie that were left in because they felt like it added to the performance and made it more authentic. So, if you really want to see some penis, it's in Magic Mike.
McConaughey, you almost saw McConaughey butthole. You were real close.
Dude, he wraps up the whole strip scene just bending over right in front of the camera. I fully expected to see,
Matthew's McConaughey.
The Eye of Sauron staring at me, but thankfully, that's another film.
You were about to see the movie Tinted Brown. Anyway.
And then Olivia Munn is in this movie, too.
Yeah. Let me just say, unexpected twist of this movie. Did not expect to see her boobs.
There you go.
I'm talking first 5 minutes. Here's a little inside info for exclusive to our Patreon, but just about everyone I knew in the game industry or TV industry, whatever, that ever worked with her said she was the biggest asshole. They were, I don't know if you remember, but there was a point where Cliff Bleszinski was like going off on a daily basis, just like, yeah, whatever, fucking asshole, yeah, whatever. Anyway, she doesn't have
remember.
We work in the game industry, and just about any time she gets brought up, it's fuck Olivia Munn, oh god. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what happened there, but she's good in the movie, I thought.
Yeah, she's fine in the movie.
Yeah, she had a small part. I didn't think she was necessarily great, but I liked her character and what it represented of.
Yeah.
Mike's trying to have a relationship with a normal girl. It's not working out. He tries to have a relationship with this other girl. It's even way more not working out.
She's a great symbol of this lifestyle that isn't, it ain't working. You know, it's like,
yeah, she's like a foil for the other girl who would be a regular relationship. I don't need a regular relationship. I got this. Well, this thing's even shittier. So
yeah. She's a great symbol of just all of the whole package. Just kind of like, maybe it's not amounting to that much.
It was interesting though, the role reversal of like every movie you see a guy take advantage of a girl, but this was like the opposite, where she was just using him for his body, and it's like, oh, that's like such a different take on what we usually see. It was interesting.
Yeah, and then I agree. And I feel like there's just one aspect of this movie that we haven't talked about yet, and I'm just going to dive right in. Ladies, the dancing, the stripping, and the gyrating. It was really entertaining. Like, I was, I'd always heard and I'd known that Channing Tatum was a good dancer, but the choreography in this movie was really good.
He was really good. I didn't expect that.
I started off this podcast saying my impression of this movie was always like 50 Shades of Grey. Like, this is kind of a sexual fantasy for, lonely older women.
Sure.
I fully expected for some gratuitous dick shots and just like humping and, I didn't know this was a Steven Soderbergh movie. And when that hit me at the end, I was like, well, that makes sense, because this movie was thoroughly entertaining and it really didn't matter. This was not like a horny piece like everybody had made me believe. It was a really entertaining comedy, dramedy, serious movie about male strippers. It was, I thought it was really fascinating. I really loved the movie.
There was a part, oh, sorry, Rocco, real quick. There's a part where Channing Tatum like hangs on some rope and spins him around, and he goes fucking Mach 8, like so fast, and then starts dancing and doesn't miss a beat. It's like, Jesus Christ, that's impressive.
Scene, they had a choreographer for the movie. Every dance scene was choreographed except that one. The choreographer said, Channing, freestyle this, whatever you want. Because this is your movie. And, this is for you. This is your moment. So, yeah, he did go Mach 8. And I was like, that dude's brain is scrambled. It was practically helicopter lady speed.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Anyways, Rocco, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I was going to say a couple things. You mentioned Steven Soderbergh. I kind of feel like he is an underrated director. Like, he's been known for a long time, but why I like him, and I think he's underrated, is that guy, more than a lot of directors, tries to do something totally different every time. There's certain directors who have a defined style, and that's cool. When you can find a way to do stuff and make that yours. I love that. But I also love a director who can really embrace doing the opposite, where, hey, this movie ain't gonna resemble that last thing I did. And I really appreciate that about him. He did, of course he did like the Ocean's 11 remake. Okay, great, whatever. He did, but then he did, at one point he did a Solaris remake. Okay, well, that's a lot different than that. Okay, fine. But he did a movie fairly recently that I don't know if a lot of people saw or not, called Unsane.
No.
And it's a movie about a woman kind of getting lost in the healthcare industry. Basically, she goes for one thing and then they don't let her leave. And it's like, wait, they kind of keep kind of gaslighting her into thinking that she's supposed to be at this place and she's not, and whatever. And the whole movie has a defined look. And I found out it was all shot on an iPhone 7. So the whole movie has this flat, weird look, but it gives it a style. You know what I mean? Like, it being shot on an iPhone, it feels kind of fucked up.
To your point about always doing something different, I heard an interview with him where 11, which was like the biggest movie in the world, or Ocean's 12 was. He purposely made his next movie like for $5 million, and he casts like people from a small town to basically play themselves.
Yeah.
And he said, I've worked with the biggest actors in the world and $100 million studios, and now I want to go to the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
So he is definitely that kind of director.
Yeah.
He does,
I like that, because I really like, so often I'll watch a movie and then, like you just said, at the end, that was Steven Soderbergh. I had that happen with him specifically so many times. I really like that. I really like that there is that he's fully embraced no consistency. His movies aren't alike.
You recommend Unsane. I recommend Lucky Logan from 2017, which is it's like Ocean's 11 except in NASCAR Kentucky. is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Oh, is Adam Driver in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard good stuff about that.
It's pretty good.
That's cool.
But now we're talking about movies that are Magic Mike, which probably means we've said all there is to say about Magic Mike. So we should probably end up this.
I have a couple things. Episode. I want to explain to you guys why I didn't love it, if that's okay. It started. You're right. It starts with him and his construction job, and you see that side of his life, and they never go back to it at any point ever. And it was just weird to me. It was like, why did we even? That was just a vehicle to meet the kid. And that was it. And it was like that wasn't, I don't know. I didn't feel like that was only a plot point to me. It wasn't like, I didn't believe it.
I could see that. I could see that. It didn't bother me, but yeah, that's yeah.
And then my final real thought was like, I was interested when he was like starting to lose the drive to be a stripper. But that to me was like almost the end of the movie. That was like well into the third act. It's like, oh, I wish this happened a little bit earlier. And so I could like, I don't know, kind of feel like I wanted the next act. I feel like I got 2 acts of this movie, and I wanted one more, personally.
Okay. What's funny is at the end of this movie, it definitely feels like, how do you make a sequel about this?
That was my thought.
Sequel, but from what I read a plot synopsis, and the sequel pretty much throws the ending of this movie out the window.
Yeah, because when this wrapped up, it was almost like a sorrow. Like I felt sorrow within me. Like it went to credits and I went, I liked how it ended a lot. And I was like, oh, they did another one? Like it just felt like not appropriate.
Just for the sake of doing a full deep dive on Magic Mike, let me just spoil the whole fucking sequel for you.
Oh, please do.
That's fine.
2 paragraph synopsis I read.
Okay.
Magic Mike, the first movie, ends with, I'm quitting stripping and I'm going to be with this girl, the sister of my best friend who's going to still be a stripper. Magic Mike 2. The girl is gone. Adam is gone. Matthew McConaughey is gone. Magic Mike misses being a stripper and misses Big Dick Richie and all his other friends, so decides to go to a stripper convention and get back into it.
Oh. Yeah, you
Magic
know what?
Mike double XL.
You know what that means to me? They realize they're going to make a lot of fucking money and have some fun with their friends.
No, I don't know. Do you think money had a factor? I don't know.
I think it may have. I also heard that Channing Tatum and the guy who plays the kid did not get along at all.
Yeah, which is why he's not in the sequel.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
How weird.
Yeah. And also Channing Tatum, I kept like, he's like John Cena, right? He's just like John Cena to me. I don't know if that's crazy, but like,
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't personally know because I can't see him.
Well done, Rocco.
Speaking of wrestling, though, I do want to say I did not. The biggest surprise casting of this whole movie to me was Kevin Nash. That surprised me. I was like, oh, he's in this? Like, I loved the all age kind of spectrum casting. And Kevin Nash I thought was great. It was cool seeing him. And I want to say that one of the most derided movies, one of the most hated movies ever, another video game movie, go figure, because 99% of them are bad, was they made a Dead or Alive movie of that game series. Awful piece of shit movie, but they cast him as Bass, or I don't know how they actually say his name, the big bearded fighter dude from the game, and there's never been better casting, I swear to God. Like, Kevin Nash is that character. So shouts out Kevin Nash. If you're watching, if you're a patron, I want to say shout out. You did a good job.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Hell yeah.
All right. So
well, I think that wraps up this episode.
Yeah. What do you? How many shakers you guys giving this?
I give Magic Mike 4 out of 5 shakers.
I'm gonna give it 4. Yeah, I think 4 is. I really liked it. I'm gonna give it 4.
And I'm gonna give it 3. I'm giving it a solid 3.
That's fair.
Well, I think that this is unanimously the best rated movie we've ever watched on Movie Club. Then.
Hey,
that is true.
You smell that? Wow, we've wafted out the early 2000s comedies. We've aired the room. See, you said I had a reputation for hating all the movies. We're out of the cursed era.
Magic Mike only narrowly rates higher than You Don't Mess with the Zohan, so we're not that far gone.
I guess so. I guess that's fair. Well, the next episode, I'm happy to say, it's my choice for the next one, and I regrettably am returning us to the early 2000s. I know, after what I just said, a hypocrite is in our midst. But we're not going comedy. We're going with The Prestige by Christopher Nolan. We're going to talk about that on the next episode. I love a good movie where we all have a lot I feel like we all have something to say about that one. So we're going to watch that for next time, talk about it. So check out The Prestige. Either watch it or wait for us to talk about it.
But I'm going to spoil it and just say, I'm not going to spoil it, but you watch it. If you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. This is one that you should watch.
Yeah. It's a watcher.
It's a watcher.
After you watch Magic Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch Magic Mike.
Watch Magic Mike and then watch Magic. You're going to see a different kind of magic.
The Magic double feature.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time with The Prestige. Tune in.
All right. Okay, I think I figured out my pants. Hold on. It's just a funny bit to end this on.
Keep that.
You got to end it. You're the only one who can end it.
Hit stop.
I was going to show my dick.
Yeah, I've seen it.